Well, hey everyone, it's been a really long time since I've seen you all with the Music with Matt installment, but I have a special one today. I'm going to tell you a little secret, something that you probably didn't know about me, and also share a story. And you know, I started these videos at the recommendation of just sharing my love that I have for various musics through these videos. And certainly I've done a lot of various topics, but I'm going to bring it back to sharing the love today about a band that really means a lot to me, and I'm going to explain why they do and also share the news that came out today. I just could not help but to make a quick video today at the announcement from one of my favorite bands ever, Foster the People. Will be releasing a 10-year anniversary version of their very first debut album, Torches. This album right here. And this is in fact the Best Buy exclusive version. I haven't seen a Best Buy exclusive album in a long time. And I think this is the only one I have anyways, but it's got, this edition is the album in its entirety plus 2 bonus tracks. Those 2 tracks are coming on this deluxe edition, which is due out I think on November 12th. There's a few other bonus tracks that have existed in various formats. I think the 2 tracks from the 7-inch single that came out for Record Store Day back when, I think those will be on there, and some remixes. And then what I'm really most intrigued about and looking forward to is they say they have a reimagined version of their classic hit Pumped Up Kicks. So that's going to be really interesting to hear. If I recall correctly, they said that they had stopped performing that live due to kind of the atmosphere in the US recently. But it will be interesting to hear if the lyrics have changed and if how the meaning of the song has changed. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I guess let's get right into I said I have a secret for you. So you know me as kind of somewhere between avant-garde and bluegrass. I'm usually really heavily into one or the other or both, but a lot of people, all of my musical colleagues were absolutely shocked when they would find out that I'm occasionally like some really strong pop music. And such is the case with Foster the People. I absolutely love them. I have all their albums. I love them. I've never gotten to see them live, which I'm sad about, but I have literally worn their records out because the one does not play anymore. It skips all over the place, a vinyl copy. I think a lot of people are surprised. I'm actually kind of surprised myself because it is very atypical of me. I would go listen to some serialist avant-garde, and then immediately, just without even a pause, I immediately go into Foster the People, and I love it. But I'd like to share the story about why I love them so much and how I discovered this band, because as usual in my life, the predictable part in this story is I did not discover it in a conventional way. And then I'll explain why they mean so much to me. So right around summer of 2013, I think it was around that time, I'm not sure the exact year, maybe it was 2012 or 2013, that Keller Williams came out with a record with the Traveling McCourys. And he had also been doing some stuff with Danny Barnes, who I was already familiar with. So between the Traveling McCourys and Danny Barnes, I kind of discovered Keller Williams for the first time around then. And I loved all the stuff he was doing with both of those performers. So then I started looking up his own stuff, and I got familiar with, he was doing a lot of his own material, but also would throw in some unique covers here and there. And there was one tune that I kept hearing that just, it really clicked, and I just loved it from the moment I heard it. And he did it both solo, and he did it with the Traveling McCourys. And it was the Traveling McCourys and his version of Pumped Up Kicks. They did a kind of a quasi-bluegrass version of it that I just was absolutely in love with it. I couldn't get it out of my head. And I had no idea who wrote it. I had no idea where it came from. I didn't have any idea if Keller Williams wrote it or what. So I started Googling. I didn't even know the name of it. I just started searching the lyrics. And here comes Foster the People. So I listened to their version, so I love that. Now I want to hear more of that. So I kind of made a note to go and listen to it later. Fast forward a little bit, I had to take a 23-hour train ride from Chicago to Boston on my very first trip to Boston to go assess the apartment situation before I moved in the fall for Berkeley for my first year. And that train ride was getting excruciatingly long. This was before I had an Apple Music subscription, so I couldn't, I don't know if it was even, it was not out by that point. So I couldn't just pull up any tracker I wanted, and I was quickly wearing out the ones that I had on my phone. And then I pulled up Foster the People's entire Torches album. And I listened to that in the nighttime. It was, a little after midnight. Everyone was asleep. It was real quiet on the train. Had this really intense, happy feeling of traveling to Boston for the first time, seeing Boston for the first time, knowing that I'm going on this next chapter in my life. And I turn on Foster the People, this whole album, while I've got all of this in my mind. And looking back on it, it kind of became like a soundtrack to that period or that moment in my life when I'm going on all this new stuff. And I really listened to that album. I loved it. Every second of it, I loved it. I thought all the songs were incredible, and I just absolutely, really, really enjoyed it. And then I listened to it a lot more and really started to enjoy it. But I'll forever remember that connection of like going to this new chapter in life and hearing Foster the People for the first time. And there was just something about it, something that like could have never happened in any other circumstance that made that click in my mind, that made me just love them so much, undying love for this group. And similar with their second record, when that came out, I was already living in Boston. I was, seeing all this stuff for the first time, like getting acclimated, this whole new chapter in my life. Then they have a new album come out, and that was like, the second soundtrack, the soundtrack to part 2 of my Boston chapter. And then actually their third record, Sacred Hearts Club, that one came out kind of towards the end of my time in Boston. So in a way, that whole portion of my life was accompanied throughout by soundtracks from Foster the People. So they really have a special place in my heart. And I cannot wait. We got to fast forward all the way to November. I want to hear that 10th anniversary version. I'm so excited. And maybe sometime I'll get to see them live. And, this year's going to have a lot of really cool things in it still. I'll tell you about that in the next video. But hearing that they're coming out with the 10th anniversary, and they also announced a few shows, that's making this year really great too. So, all right, well, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that story I shared. And for my avant-garde fans, I hope you don't mind that I'm getting into a little bit of pop music here and there. But I'll see you in the next video with some exciting news. Thanks for watching.